Arabella's Thanksgiving. Prologue. Arabella. It was a bright, cold evening in November, and Thanksgiving was a few hours away. Today was supposed to be the best day of my life, but even the roasted turkey knew trouble was coming before I did. The chef in charge of the meals was busy having the best day of his life, regardless of what was at stake. As for me, I was in my bedroom with my best friend, waiting for the cue to join the love of my life downstairs. Most people thought an arranged marriage could never work, but I stood as living proof that love could happen, regardless of how hopeless the situation is. I am Arabella Morrison, and this is the story of my life. I found love in the worst possible scenario. The Morrisons and Smiths would be presenting a united front after today. Ours was a marriage to unify the two families, with mine benefiting more from the union. "Are you sure about this?" Laurel asked for the umpteenth time. I turned to my best friend with wide eyes. She had been by my side the entire 9 months of my relationship. We had known each other those few months and felt comfortable enough to know we wanted our forever together. Laurel's support and love for us had been unshakable. I couldn't have asked for a better friend, but even she had her doubts about an arranged marriage working out this well. "Relax, you know I love this man," I said, putting on my earring. The guests were already seated, and I could barely wait to be engaged to my charming prince. The day wasn't fast enough. Even though we were already engaged, tonight would make it official. I was making my family proud. If things turned out right, which they will, the Morrisons would become one of the most prominent families in Los Angeles. We would be respected, and this would have a lasting impact. Welcome to LA, the city that values family names and rankings above all else. If everyone thought I was doing this for fame, Aiden and I knew better. We wanted to be together. We loved each other. As long as we were happy, it wouldn't matter what the world made of the union. Who knew that arranged marriages could spin out this way? Laurel muttered as she left her seat. "Turn around," she ordered. "Let's get your clothes laced up at the back." I spun around so I was facing away from her. She sighed as she began working the ropes. My mind dived into memory lane. The first time Dad had announced I was getting married to the Smiths, my mind couldn't grasp the concept of this happening in the 21st century. I had blatantly refused, and Dad, with his stubborn streak, didn't back down. He had arranged a meeting with Aiden and tricked me into going there. "Arabella," Laurel called. Her excellent hands on my bare shoulder dragged me out of my sweetest memory. "Ours had been love at first sight, you know," I said, turning to face my best friend. Her eyes darted back and forth as she listened. When I walked into the restaurant for the supposed business meeting, I was struck by the mannered, handsome guy with the brightest smile waiting for me. All through the meeting, I could not take my eyes off him. He was so humble and sweet for someone from the upper echelon. I was hooked the first time. "Lucky you, he's head over heels in love with you," assured Laurel. "So you see it too, don't you?" I asked. Her head bounced up and down. "Yes, so does everyone. It's no joke that you both are in love," she said in a low voice. I wanted to reply, but suddenly swooned and grabbed Laurel. My eyes spun around so fast and then dimmed. "Are you okay?" she asked, walking me to the nearest couch. I could barely see anything. Holding her for support, I took deep breaths as she walked me to the couch. "I've been feeling out of it lately," I said, sliding into the seat. "Must be all the excitement." Giving me a sulky look, she went to fetch water. She stopped by the dressing table and grabbed the bottle of water on it. As she walked over, she opened it and handed me the water. I drank a few sips and returned it. "You weren't eating?" Laurel shook her head, still holding the bottle. "Anything for love?" "I'm fine," I replied, standing up again. She made me sit back down and put the bottle on the floor. "I'm yet to lace your shoe," she said. "Allow me." I nodded, and she grabbed the silver high heels we had selected for the occasion. She bent down to help me put it on. My mind had nothing to do, and it went spiraling off again. "I'm happy the other family didn't want the Smiths," I said. Rumor was that the arranged marriage between the Smiths and another family in LA had gone south. I heard the lady didn't agree to it. "Well, she was young," pointed out Laurel. She looked up briefly before returning to lacing the shoe. She was barely 8 when the arrangement was made. Poor girl didn't want any of that. I sighed as she recounted the story. Her loss. Aiden is a good man. She probably would have loved him had she taken the plunge like I did. He's every woman's dream man. "Hello." Laurel got up, dusting her palm as she continued. "Not every woman." She pointed at her heavy chest. I rolled my eyes at her. "You're probably the only woman out of the billions who doesn't think he's a good catch." "Oh, he is a good catch," she assured me. "Just not for some of us." Closing my eyes, I wrapped my arms around myself and rested my head on my shoulder. Bless Jessica Adams for turning my Aiden down. I owe this moment to her. A soft tune played outside, causing butterflies to dance in my stomach. My eyes fluttered. "That's your cue to get down," Laurel said, spinning me toward the entrance. "Thanks for standing by us all through this," I said, looking over my shoulder. We walked down the stairs of the big mansion and stepped out the door. Everyone cheered as we walked out to the garden. It wasn't a wedding, but the two families had gone all out. This was not just any occasion. The rich and famous were gathered here. Aiden was waiting patiently for me as I walked down to meet him. Laurel followed behind, but stopped at some point, disappearing into the crowd. My mind was on the dashing Adonis in front of me. His eyes stayed on mine, taking in the view as I ogled over him. "Hey," he said as I got to the table. His right hand held me while the other pulled out the seat, hugging and kissing him first. I took my seat beside him. That would be my place for all eternity, by his side as Mrs. Smith. "You look as gorgeous as I knew you would be," he said, leaning over to whisper the sweet words. "I'm the luckiest man, and I am the happiest woman on earth right now," I replied, stroking his cheek as we stared at each other. We became lost in the sea of healthy chatters around us. Our eyes held on to each other, as did our hands, as the world blurred into the background. "Now we play the compilation video of the couple," announced the MC. Still holding hands, Aiden and I turned to the big screen with excited giggles. He had said not to laugh when I saw his baby pictures, but mine would be far more dramatic. The screen came on, and soft music began playing in the background. A video clip of me running around in the house was played. He nudged me and tried to keep a bold face. "You promised," I reminded him. His cheeks were swollen with unshed laughter. But like the gentleman that he was, he cut a piece of the chicken and fed it to my mouth. "What's this?" someone said, and everyone gasped. I turned to the screen. With a shudder that rocked my body, I stared at the video played, appalled by what I was watching. Aiden's hand slipped out of mine. I froze in time. A distant wall clock rang out, ushering the dawn of the new day. It's Thanksgiving Day. Like I said, the chicken knew trouble was way on its way before I knew. I spat out the protein. It was dry and salty. My taste buds would keep the memory for a very long time.